Hello, everyone. Welcome to this seminar on the Justice Studies MS Criminology program. My name is Bryce Westlake, and I am the coordinator for the program. Today, I will take some time to introduce our department, tell you a bit about the aims and objectives of our master's program, the degree and admission requirements, and the various funding opportunities to pay for the program. I will then have two students, Myra and Karina, who will tell you a bit about being in the program from a student's perspective. Let's get started. The Department of Justice Studies at San Jose State University was founded in 1930 and is the oldest degree-granting criminal justice program in the United States. We embrace an interdisciplinary approach to engage students in critical analysis of justice systems in practice, policy, and research. We equip students to be leaders, professionals, and agents of change in justice-related institutions and in diverse local and global communities. Our foremost desire is to foster just societies. We value intellectual curiosity, lifelong learning, honesty, fairness, and ethical considerations of our actions. We embrace diversity, inclusion, civility, and sustainable practices as foundations for strong communities. We commit ourselves to promoting global understandings and respect for cultural differences. We honor our relationship with students, colleagues, alumni, and community partners who work with us to achieve our mission. To accomplish this, our department is built on 5 complementary pillars: criminal justice studies, criminology, forensic science, legal studies, and human rights. As a result, we have a very diverse faculty teaching in our programs, with research and teaching interests in reentry, human trafficking, politics of terrorism, crime in the Caribbean, the criminalization of immigrants, policing communities of color, cybercrime, forensic anthropology, juvenile delinquency, program evaluation, critical legal studies, and theories of punishment and control. Now, let's talk a bit about our master's programs. The Department of Justice Studies offers 2 master's degrees. The first is our Master's of Science in Justice Studies. This program is entirely in person. The second, which we are here to talk about today, is the Master of Science in Criminology, with a concentration in Global Criminology. In contrast to the Justice Studies Masters, this program is entirely online. The online Master's program aims to equip students with a truly global outlook on crime and criminal justice. We believe that globalization necessitates that even at local and state levels, crime is influenced by what is happening nationally and internationally. Therefore, our program uniquely combines advanced studies of contemporary international crime and the various responses to crime around the globe with analytical and research techniques used by advanced scholars to examine these issues. This international lens is reflected in the required courses for the program, which I will touch on in more detail briefly. We have 5 program learning outcomes for the MS Criminology program, with the aim for students to acquire the following skills upon graduation. 1, describe ways to create social change through a critical understanding of the local and global dimensions of crime. 2, articulate and evaluate scholarly grounded perspectives on issues of crime and justice, including ways that criminology explains crime and reactions to crime through academic, professional, and social media lenses. 3, explain theories, assumptions, foundational knowledge, analytical and interpretive protocols, tools and technologies within the field of criminology. 4, demonstrate skills in each step of an investigative, creative, or practical project that helps advance understandings of a criminological or related issue. And 5, employ global perspectives on criminology and concepts of justice to support research-informed solutions to contemporary social problems. The MS Criminology program is classified as a special sessions program. Special sessions programs are not funded by the state of California. Instead, they are supported by fees based on the cost of delivering the courses. This means that tuition is on a per course basis. The advantage of this is that students are not required to pay the SJSU campus fees that regular session students are. Our master's degree is a 2-year program, or more accurately, a 21-month program. Our program is unique in that students take one course at a time. This allows students to focus on one course and not worry about conflicting assignment deadlines across courses. More importantly, many of our students are working full-time. Having one course at a time, combined with no scheduled meeting times for classes, makes it easier for students to balance their schedule. Under this structure, students take 2 courses per semester, one course for the first 8 weeks of the semester, and a second course for the second 8 weeks of the semester. In total, there are 10 courses students need to complete. There are 5 courses, 4 courses in the Global Criminology concentration, and 1 culminating experience course. We will now go over what your schedule would look like. As previously discussed, our courses provide an international comparative curriculum that develops analytical skills, understanding of legal concepts, theoretical competency, and abilities to apply criminology in practical ways. In your first year, you take courses all year round. If you were to begin in the fall semester, the first 8 weeks of the semester, you would take JS 265. This course is called Comparative Criminal Justice Systems. For the second 8 weeks, you would take JS 266. This course is Applied Research Methods and Statistics. In spring, you would take JS 273 and JS 267. In the summer, you would take 2 5-week courses, JS 269 and JS 270A. If you were to start the program in the spring, then you would begin with JS 273 and 267, and in the following fall, you would take JS 265 and 266. In your second year, you have JS 271 and 272 in the fall, and JS 274 and 268 in the spring. JS 274 is the culminating experience course, which requires students to develop, conduct, analyze, and report on a research topic related to global criminology. This is a very intense and demanding course, given the 8-week time frame. Again, if you were to start in spring, you would take the regular spring courses, but then have a break over summer and finish your degree in the fall with JS 271 and 272. It is worth noting that each of these courses are offered once a year in the same order. This means that if you need to retake a course or you elect to not take a course, you will have to wait until the following year at the same time to complete that course. The con of this is that it can delay your graduation. The pro is that the schedule is consistent, so you know when the course will be and can plan accordingly well in advance. Next, we will cover admission requirements. Currently, students are required to have a bachelor's degree from an accredited 4-year college or university. If your degree was completed at a university outside of the United States, you are also required to submit a TOEFL exam score. Regardless to where your degree was completed, you are required to have a GPA of 3.0 or higher over your last 60 semester units or 90 quarter units, and a GPA of 3.0 or higher in your major. Starting in spring 2023, the admission requirements will be increasing. In addition to the current requirements, students will need to submit a resume with their application, highlighting their academic background, achievements and awards, professional accomplishments, and relevant experience, for example, internships, volunteer work, or employment. Students will also need to submit a statement of interest between 1,000 and 1,250 words. The statement will describe your background experiences and motivations for pursuing an MS Criminology degree, as well as your areas of academic and research interests in criminology, why a global perspective to criminology is needed, and a brief description of a potential culminating research project. Finally, students will submit contact information for 2 references. If students want, they are welcome to submit letters of reference with their application. The application process is fairly straightforward. You go to the Cal State Apply website, the URL is on the slide, and you apply to the CSU. Once you have done that, you will apply to the MS Criminology program from that same website. Once your application is complete, you will submit your official transcripts to SJSU. The deadline to apply for fall is July 1st, while the deadline for spring is December 1st. Applications are reviewed regularly, with admissions being provided prior to those dates if you submit your application early. Each course costs $1,800, with the degree total being $18,000. Tuition is due 21 days from registration for spring and fall, and 15 days from registration in summer. While you only take 1 course at a time during the semester, you need to register and pay for both courses at the beginning of the semester. There are various financial aid options available to students in the forms of scholarships, assistantships, loans, and work study. For loans and work study, we recommend you go to the Federal Student Aid website. The link is provided here on the slide. Both the university and college provide various scholarship opportunities. At the university level, 3 prominent scholarships are the Bertha Com, with it, which there are 6 awards, each of $6,500. The Graduate Equity Fellowship, which ranges from $1,000 to $4,000, and the Sally Casanova Pre-Doctoral Scholarship, which is focused on students who are intending to apply to a doctoral program after completing their master's degree. At the bottom of this slide are links to the university scholarship page, where you can find out more information and more details about the 3 scholarships I noted, along with other scholarships that are available. I've also included the College of Social Sciences Scholarship Resource webpage, which outlines the opportunities available to students within our college. Finally, we also have departmental scholarships, with applications being accepted between March 1st and early April. Beyond scholarships, we typically hire 2 graduate assistants in fall and spring. In these positions, students work 20 hours a week with several faculty members, assisting with teaching, research, and any other work required. Applications for assistantships are sent out just prior to the start of the semester. The international lens of our program provides the foundation to be successful in a variety of fields related to criminal justice. Our graduates have taken positions in police administration, probation, corrections, and federal law enforcement. They have also worked for nonprofits, local and state government, public safety, social services, victim advocacy, and security. Our graduates can also further their academic careers, continuing to law school or a doctoral program and becoming an instructor at a community college or university. I now want to turn the floor over to 2 second-year graduate students, Myra and Karina, who will tell you a bit more about their experiences with the program. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Myra. I'll be graduating this year. So a little bit about the program and my experience. I want to say that it was amazing. It worked well with my schedule, especially because I work 9 hours every day for 5 days out of the week. And also I have 2 children, which are 12 years old and a 7-year-old, which could be a handful. The courses, as mentioned, they are divided into 8 weeks each semester. And that was very helpful because it didn't intervene, like the assignments didn't intervene with my schedule at work, or that I had two assignments that had to be done on the same day. Not only that, like I could say that your cohort is going to be the main, they're going to be the main people you're going to go to. They're going to be your reliable source. They're make sure that you connect with someone once you're in the program, once you start your first actual course, because throughout your 2 years, you'll be in the same with the same people. So I met Karina through our first cohort, which is amazing because you get to tell each other, hey, these are the deadlines, or hey, I'm at work. Do you know what's gonna happen, or what are the readings? Even though everything's there, but a lot of us work, not all of us work in an office setting. So sometimes it could be hard, or we can't be on our phones. One thing I do say that Canvas will be like your social media. You will have to take time away from your social media, which I did. I personally had it like deactivate my social media to concentrate, because it does take a lot of time out of your day. And instead of you being on social media, you could actually be reading on your phone, or doing an assignment. It is heavy on literature, so I do recommend you read all the material that's given to you. The assignments are very straightforward. If you do have questions about the assignments, professors are there, but as mentioned before, your cohort it's going to be the number one, because the way I understood a lecture or a reading or a specific question that was going to be discussed was totally different how Karina viewed it, or how other classmates viewed it. So it's always good to interchange information. That way, when it comes to doing your assignment, you understand the entire discussion or the entire assignment in depth, rather than submitting something that later on is going to affect your grade. Another thing is that make sure you plan out your time. It is intense. It's a self-guided course. You don't have your professors like in your undergrad telling you, hey, this is the deadline. Don't forget about this assignment. It's due on this day. There is some reminders. There's like weekly announcements that your professor will have. But as an adult, make sure you have a planner. You plan out your personal life with your academic life, because there will be times that you will not have time to even meet with family. I had to lose time with my family because I wanted to make sure I was doing well in the course. Also, if you do have children, take some time to spend with them. It's kind of tough to balance, but it's possible. It is very possible for you to manage your academic life with your personal life, and as a parent. So Karina could give you a little bit more feedback on that as well.
Hi everyone, my name is Karina. I am just shy of graduation. We're very excited. I have many highlights about the program, about the online program, and I'd like to start with location. Myra lives in San Jose and I live in Fresno County. So it's about a 2.5, 3 hour drive for me. And the location was very convenient, obviously, because I get to do it in the comfort of my own home. And on top of that, I think that usually when we talk about grad school, or when you're talking about higher education, you'll go into time management. You'll always get you need to be on top of your time management, but you also have to do what works for you. You can Google and read blogs about how to survive grad school all you want, but if you need to work, if you need to do some work at 6 a.m. before the kids go to school, or 6 p.m. when you get home from work, that's what this program is going to offer you. It's going to be, you'll hear that it's self-guided, and it is, but ideally you're adults, and that's kind of what you want. You want to be able to do things on your own time when it's available to you. That's what's going to help you be successful. Myra talks about making connections with your cohort, and it is very important because the first course in, I didn't talk to anybody else. And at the end of that course, I said, I am way in over my head. There is a lot going on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Let me just reach out to a couple of people and see who writes back. Maybe they might think I'm silly, but it's okay. I'm not going to continue to struggle. and you don't need to struggle. You don't deserve to struggle. So when I reached out to Myra, she wrote back, and next thing you know, we've been talking every day since we met, and we've helped each other along the way. Myra has met my family, I've met her family, and if you hear my kids yelling outside the store, it's because they are yelling outside the store, and but that's okay, because a lot of the time you'll need to find that program that's going to help you deal with home life and still be there for them. If you have to work overnight, you'll work overnight, and that's okay. You're going to be tired. You're going to do a lot of reading, a lot of writing, but chances are you're curious about this program because you're interested in this area. So everything you read is going to be interesting. Nothing's going to be boring. And a lot of the time you're going to be passionate about what you're reading anyway. I would like to touch on financial aid just a little bit. If you applied for financial aid in your undergrad, I would recommend applying for it when you're in grad school. It may not cover your courses, but sometimes it does give you a fee waiver, which gives you roughly another extra 2 weeks to pay. Sorry about that. So I'll stop there for a second and then we'll.
So as Karina mentioned, financial aid, it's always good to apply. I know a couple of us received COVID relief pay as well for tuition. So I know it's not going to happen for the next few semesters because it's almost over, COVID, but also check with your employer. I know that my employer offered tuition reimbursement, especially if it has to deal with, your career path. So I work for the Santa Clara Housing Authority, and they were nice enough to say, yes, like, your master's degree does apply to what we require for in tuition reimbursement. So always make sure that you ask questions. Don't feel like, oh, I'm stuck, I have to pay out of pocket. There's a lot of resources. Apply for the scholarships. Don't get discouraged. You will come across a lot of, students in your cohort that will start dropping. A lot of them due to financial situations. Sometimes it's, the courses are too heavy on them, personal life. There's a variety of reasons why, but don't let that discourage you. There's a lot of help out there, and we're going to continue to emphasize, your classmates are going to be your best friends. As you can see, Karina and I already met our families. We're excited about graduation, and this is what we want you to look forward to in 2 years. For you to be like, oh, I did this with, someone I met that's 3 hours away from me, but now we're going to get together and, celebrate this big accomplishment. Don't let other master's degrees discourage you. Oh, like, you have to do an internship. There's no internship in this degree, but it's always good to still look out there and say, hey, I am a grad student. It's not going to count towards my master's, but would you mind me being an intern for your program, or whatever's offered out there? Always ask questions. You feel free to reach out to staff. They're amazing. I know Dr. Westlake is always there for us. He's always answering our questions. I want to go into getting my PhD, so he's been a great help as well. So.
Excellent. I don't know, Karina, if you have anything more that you're wanting to add, or.
Now that I have some silence in the background, I would like to add really quickly is not a lot of the time you might feel like it's really scary, and it is, but I don't regret it, and it's helped me grow as a person. Reaching out to your professors, don't be afraid of them. They want you to succeed. They truly do. And you're going to come across moments where they'll be blunt and they might say something that you didn't want to hear, but I promise by the end of the program, you're going to wish that they gave you all that extra feedback, because it's going to help your writing, it's going to help you critically think, and it's going to prepare you for your profession and what's next.
I wanted to add a little bit more. So regarding the courses, each course it's created that certain way to prepare you for your applied project. So pay close attention, especially in your research method class. because that class is going to help you tremendously when it comes to your applied project. So make sure that as you begin your degree with your master's program, you begin thinking about what topic or what research you want to do when it comes to that day that you take that course of applied project, and make sure that you save all your resources, references, because you will need them for that course. And like I mentioned, each course is meant to be structured that way because it's going to help you for your last semester. So like we said, don't be shy and ask a lot of questions, and don't get discouraged at all.
Thank you to both of you for providing some insights from a student's perspective. I did want to highlight one of the things that they mentioned, which is while this program is online and while it is self-directed, I think one of the key takeaways from what both of them mentioned was that you don't do this program alone. So you will end up having the exact same students for most of your classes. So you will get to know your classmates very well. The program is very much developed around class discussion and critical thinking. So most, if not all of the courses will have weekly discussions that you need to participate in. And so that will give you opportunities to get to know your classmates as well as your instructors. So it's important to reach out to some of your classmates and recognize that while you are partially doing it alone, you're also in the exact same position as a lot of your classmates. And so they'll be able to relate and empathize with you. In addition, the faculty members, as was noted, are here to help, and they're there to guide you. While you won't meet any of them in person, or you may, but most likely won't, that doesn't mean that they're someone that you shouldn't be reaching out to. So our faculty members always have office hours each week and are available through Zoom, through email, through the Canvas messaging system. So there's lots of different ways to get access to them, and don't feel that you are bothering them or that you're an inconvenience or something. Do remember you're paying for this program and you're paying to learn, and they're being paid to teach you. So they are there to help you succeed, and they want to do that for you. So that is the end of the formal discussion or presentation of the program and a little bit of insight from students as to what you can expect. We have until 1:15, however, we can obviously go over if needed, where I can be here to answer any questions that you might have, as well as Myra and Karina will probably stick around for a little bit, and they can answer any questions from a student's perspective. Of course, if you want, you can also reach out to me after this session at bryce.westlake@sjsu.edu, and I can answer any additional questions that you might have, or questions that may be unique to your specific situation. We'll now pause, and you can add your questions either into the chat or the Q&A, and then we can answer them live here. So in the questions and answers, there's the question about requirement for an international degree. So if you are a student who has a degree from the United States, then that's fine. If you have a degree from an institution outside of the United States, so international, then you are required to take the TOEFL exam, TOEFL, and that's outlined on the website. And that is primarily based around English proficiency. And so there's 3 different options. There's a paper option, there's a computer option, and then an internet-based one. And so the minimum scores are listed on the requirements for the program. And if you have any more questions about that, so such as, where you got your degree and if this applies to you, then don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'm happy to answer that for you. There's a question, is there an exception to not having a 3.0 GPA by chance? So typically not. We do look to admit usually around 15 to 20 students. And so it is The minimum requirement is a 3.0. There are a lot of times that the minimum GPA actually ends up being higher than that. So, obviously we take students that are the most likely to excel and succeed. So it's also one of the reasons why we've added in the additional requirements for spring, so that we can look at each case individually and make determinations as to whether they'll be successful in graduate school, because we know that a GPA doesn't tell the whole story. There's lots of other things that come into play as well. So we want to make sure that we're picking the students that will be most likely to succeed. However, if you are someone who has struggled in undergrad and have a lower GPA below 3, which is a B, that typically we've found in graduate programs that they struggle a lot more with some of the demands and expectations of the course and the program. So a question for Myra and Karina. What are you planning to use this degree for, and what do you currently do?
I work for the Santa Clara Housing Authority, Section 8, as everybody knows it. They do have a fraud department, so a lot of the time some cases come through us and we find fraudulent information, so we forward that. What I plan to do with my degree, I do have a lot of plans. As mentioned, I wanted to begin looking into a PhD program. I want to work for the federal government. My passion is immigration, so I would love to work in, for Homeland Security, probably immigration, or the Border Patrol, but as an analyst. I like data. I like what's going on. What are the gaps that a lot of that's not out there, that's not put out there. My applied project, Dr. Westlake knows I wanted to come up with a database. So that's something I am very passionate about. So I will be working hard on that. So for now, I'm here for another year or two at the Housing Authority, but I am looking to applying for the federal government soon.
And currently I'm not working. I am enjoying my time at home with the babies, since they're all really small still. But I have a passion to go into probation for juveniles, and we covered that quite a bit throughout the program. So it has helped me know where I need to look and the counties that I want to look for. So currently I'm just applying to surrounding counties and hoping everything goes faster than it has been so far.
Thank you. I was answering this already, but I'll answer it verbally. Typically, how many students enter each special session? So recently, we've had between 12 to 18 students that enter the program each year. And so we are looking to probably bump that up a little bit to 15 to 20. We might go a little bit over that if we have a lot of exceptional students. However, one of the benefits of a master's program typically is having smaller classes. It allows for a lot more guidance one-on-one. As I think Myra and Karina will attest to, there's a lot more, there's higher demands, and then there's a lot more guidance that occurs with developing research projects, understanding and incorporating different critical theories and stuff like that. So we try to keep the classes a little bit smaller so that there's more of that engagement and you get to know people rather than it just kind of being nameless and faceless people. Do you know if incoming freshmen for fall 2022 can go to SJSU online and do distance learning? So I think I kind of understand that. So if by freshman, I guess you're meaning first year grad student. So yeah, I mean, the entire program is online, obviously. So students are not required to be on campus. So as Karina mentioned, she's in Fresno right now. And we have had students that are out of the country. So I know we have 2 right now, one that's in Canada, another one that's in Palestine. And I know that we've had some students in the past who are in Asia, Australia, and some other places. So that's done. Is there another question? Is there ever an in-person event of some kind where we can meet each other? So Yes, we do have in-person events. Obviously, over the last couple of years, we have not had any. However, our in-person program, we do have in-person events for that, as well as different departmental events. So we're trying to increase the number of graduate student events, but we do also have departmental events that happen typically in the spring, but we also have some in the fall. So we have lecture series Beyond the Books. We have the Confidence Challenge. And then we try to have a social in the fall and then in the spring as well for grad students to get to know each other. We don't have anything specific for our online masters, just typically because I would say at least half of our students are not actually in the Bay Area. And then it also gets a little bit more complicated when a lot of our students are working full time to try to coordinate when to set up those different events.
Can I add to that? If you want to get to meet each other, Karina and I discovered Google Meets. So we have met with other students. So, always feel free to like create a group chat or group Google Meets, and you get to know your cohort through there. And it's amazing. We have a good time.
You'd be surprised at how many people you have the same things in common with you once you talk outside of school.
Thanks. So what do this first semester classes cover? So the first semester is, as I mentioned before, JS 265, Comparative Criminal Justice Systems, and JS 266, Research Methods, Applied Research Methods and Statistics. So the first course is supposed to provide a little bit of theoretical foundation, as well as in the title, compare criminal justice systems from around the world. Actually, I can kind of talk about it. Myra and Karina, do you want to speak about what 265 is like, since you've taken it? And of course I haven't.
The comparative justice.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. You will learn a lot in that class because you will be amazed on how other countries handle their criminal justice system, especially the juvenile delinquency in their country. So you will learn a lot. It's a lot of discussions for sure. When it comes down to your research paper, make sure you try to explore outside of just, south of the border of the US and Mexico. Try to go, to other countries, and you will be surprised when you come to compare it to the United States criminal justice system. Dr. Martin, who is the one that teaches it, she's amazing. Always make sure you contact her for more feedback, because she will give you the feedback that you're looking for. So make sure that you reach out. I don't know, you want to add something else, Karina?
I think that course is really a great introduction into how much you'll be reading and how much you'll be writing. If you're not used to writing, your typical 10-page papers, it's a great introduction. Obviously, throughout the program, it's going to continue to get a higher page count, but it's a great introduction. And I'd like to say personally, for me, each of the courses, especially, well, each of them, not especially, each of them really look at policy implications. And for that course specifically, you'll be able to see, what is this country doing that the United States isn't, and why is that working for them, or why is that not working for them, and how can it prove the same implications here in the United States. So it's really it gives a great introduction to the whole global criminology.
So make sure you do the readings, because that way you won't feel lost. A lot of your writing will show if you understood the assignment or the readings. This is not undergrad, so make sure you read. That's one of the biggest things we learned probably the first assignments, because you try to skim through the information. No, it's not gonna work. Read, 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 and it's gonna reflect on your writing, especially the vocabulary you use. You will be very surprised how sometimes the terminology that we're using in undergrad, it's very different to what we're using in grad. As a grad grad writing, but make sure you do the readings. You will learn As Karina mentioned, each course is meant to give you a higher page of research. So sometimes you'll start with 10 pages, then you will begin with 50, then the next course will ask 15, and it'll just keep increasing. So make sure you turn on that critical thinking switch on, because these courses will make you think outside the box from just your general information that you have.
Thank you. And then JS 266, which is Research Methods and Statistics. I tend to teach that. I won't be teaching it this fall, but I have in the past. So that course is focused around qualitative and quantitative research methods and having students begin to engage in research. So in my course, you complete a content analysis, a survey, ethnographic or interview analysis, and then learn different statistical analyses for conducting or for analyzing research that you're conducting. And then for me, the final assignment has been students developing and creating their research project and putting that proposal together in an ethics review application, which would be something that all research would have to do. So it's an opportunity to get practice at doing that. There's a question of, I applied for the degree program about a week or so ago. When do applicants generally find out if they've been accepted? So applications are reviewed periodically, typically about once a month by the graduate committee, moving up to the deadline. So it can be anywhere up to about a month. The committee will probably be reviewing again in a couple of weeks before the end of the semester. So you can expect to hear sometime after that. What will our workload look like? Is it more research, essays, lots of reading, and reading notes? So the program is very much like most grad programs. It is reading intensive. So I would expect for students to have about at least 75 pages of reading each week. And being as the courses are only 8 weeks long, it typically means that you'll have a major assignment once a week or once every 2 weeks. The program is also very much developed around class discussion. So most, if not all of our classes will have weekly discussions, and these vary depending on the course. In the research methods course that I teach, they're focused more around developing research. So having students share different hypotheses, different conceptual frameworks, questions that they would potentially ask, question design, question development. In a theory course, it may be more about applying different theories to different real-world applications or different topics. In the cyber forensics course that I teach, it's focused more around applying cybercrime to current events and other issues that are going on. So it really depends on the course, but you can count on major assignments, 2 or 3 throughout the 8-week time at least, usually probably about 4. A bunch of readings, and then class discussion each week as well. Is there a list of professors that teach each class? So there's 2 aspects to this. So one is that there aren't any instructors that specifically teach in it. There's some that more commonly teach in it, but all of our faculty do teach in the program. And so all of them are a possibility. I know that doesn't really provide an answer for you. We do have a syllabus archive. Unfortunately, right now, the program or the website has just been recently updated, so that hasn't been updated fully yet. But in that archive, it shows all the different courses that are taught each semester, as well as a copy of the syllabus. So it gives you information on who's teaching what and what the course requirements are. Until that is up and running, feel free to reach out to me and I can get those different course syllabus and information. Some of the people who commonly teach in the program are myself, Dr. Bryce Westlake. We also have Dr. Allison Martin, Dr. Ronnie Abusad, Dr. Sam Gaddick, Dr. Erica Adams, Dr. Claudio Vera Sanchez, Dr. Michelle Warden, Are there any more that are common that you can think of, Myra and Karina? I think I've hit the main ones, right? Is there anyone else that you guys can think of that is taught that I missed? I don't think so, right?
No, that's pretty much everyone.
Yeah. So when is the resume and statement of interest due along with the references? So if you are applying for spring 2023 admission, then that's when those new requirements will be in place. So if you're applying for this fall, which to answer another one of the questions, when is the deadline? So the deadline is July 1st to have your documents in. And so if you're applying for fall, the only requirement right now is the GPA requirement. If you are looking to apply in spring, then you will have those additional requirements. And the documents, those documents, everything will still be uploaded on CSU Apply. So it will all be the exact same system. There will just be additional boxes for students to complete and fill out that information. Another one, to those that are accepted in the program, when are we able to start enrolling in fall courses? So some of our students are registering right now. So there's two parts of this. So once you're accepted and into the program, then I believe you can start enrolling in classes right away. At the same time, especially because it's a cohort model, the class will never fill. So, so that means that the day before classes start, you could enroll in that class. Admission or enrollment for these courses is a little bit different than regular session courses. So for each of them, you reach out to the instructor of the course and they will provide you with an add code. You do need to register for both courses for that semester at the start of the semester. So even though you're only taking one course and then halfway through the semester you take the second course, you need to be registered for both courses at the start of the semester, not registered for the one at the start and then register for the second one halfway through. Both have to be right at the beginning. We will stick around if there's a couple more questions. I'll remind you that my contact information is on the screen, and so you can reach out to me to schedule an appointment. There is an option on the SJSU website, or if you just email me to schedule specific times during my office hours, so you can make sure that you have, I know many of you will be working or have other things, so this ensures that the time that you're scheduled to meet with me, that's specifically for you, and you don't have to worry about waiting around for others or lineups or something like that, so you can make sure that your questions are answered at that time. And like I said, you can find that information on the SJSU website under advising or about us and the faculty directory with my name, or you can just email me and I can provide you that link for you to schedule an appointment. I'll wait around here, we'll wait another 10-15 seconds if someone has another question, and then if not, we can conclude. Thank you to Myra and Karina for joining me today on this information session, and thanks to all of you who have attended and the questions that you had. We look forward to receiving your application, and have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much.